it feels fantastic. I'm so happy for Islam. He's such a quiet guy. He doesn't say anything. But for him to come out and make a point, of what he was feeling, and now he's able to say, what the deal was before. Where last camp, he had that 12-hour difference in rehydration, and it was a big difference. And we didn't say nothing last time, because if you win and then you go on, you say, but you won, shut up. So he's very good about that. So this time he could say, well, I was really not at my best because I was, the 12-hour period. And the point is this, which is very much documented. He was 8 pounds heavier for this fight than he was the last time. So he gained an extra 8 pounds. When I told him, I go, where are you at? He goes, Coach, I'm 8 pounds heavy. I said, nice. So I knew there was no issues. The weight cut went really well. Everything went perfect on this one.
So is it safe to say that he was 100% ready?
He was 100% ready with the game plan too. Also, Magomed, the head coach at Abdomanov's gym, they've been working on the body kick, shin kick to the head. And right before they went out there, Magomed said, Coach, what do you think? Should we do that? I said, absolutely. Sounds very good. So Magomed did a fantastic job with him. And Saifullah, the other coach, the Taekwondo coach, who's been with him, the Olympic Taekwondo coach, is a great coach. He's been monitoring Islam. So those guys did a fantastic job with him. And the other thing that made me super, super happy was the fact that Khabib was actually here partaking in the coaching. He was coaching all the guys. And as it is, everybody knows this in the team that Khabib is the guy. He's the main guy. He's the guy that everybody follows. And I'm more like Khabib's mentor more than I am anything, because he follows me. But the main guys did a great job here was Magomed, Saifullah, Khabib, and what I played the role on, as a mentor and a confident type guy. And I told him, do whatever you want to do, but I want you to do it from a distance. I want the distance control. And I already trained him how to do it like a matador. We've already trained that way. So what he did already on the distance was perfect. And you can see when he threw a left cross, he was fully extended. And I said that was a perfect range. And I knew he was dialed in on the range. So it was just a matter of time before other things landed. And that's exactly what happened. The range was perfect. And it was hard for Alex to counter him because he was at a distance at all time.
So if we're saying that tonight he was 100% ready, what percentage would you give to the previous fight with Volkanovski?
Well, I don't know what I would give the previous fight as far as what percentage he was ready. I just know that he was not hydrated properly. And hey, we were ready for that fight, but I think what we weren't ready for was a 24-hour period. Because the training camp last time was fantastic. And the only screw up was the day of weigh-in and the fight day. That was the only screw up. So he didn't have a bad camp. He did not have a bad camp. So I was kind of stuck, to be honest with you. I didn't know exactly what went wrong. I just knew he gassed. And Alex was like unbelievable. Alex was unbelievable, and I didn't know. And then until they start talking to me, and then I find out that Alex weighed like 1 or 2 pounds heavier on the scales fight night. And this time, no, he didn't weigh heavy. He was not heavier. No way. Islam was heavier than him.
So was that head kick something that you worked on and had a plan for?
That head kick was something Magomed, the striking coach and head coach there, he planned it, not me. I know. When the guy's shorter, you play him low, hit him low, then go high. Because a smaller guy, Volkanovski is not that tall. So head kicks are really good for guys like that. Especially when you work the body and you keep working the body, then you go up top. And then, Islam went in for somewhat of a takedown, but not really full committed takedown. So, these guys, they play cat and mouse, right? Oh, I bait you, and all of a sudden they go up top. Or they pretend to take you down, they go up top, then they take you down. There's a lot of strategies involved in the fight game, and Islam Makhachev, is a master at it. He's becoming a master at learning how to play all the games.
So Islam was visibly limping after the fight. Do you know how bad he was hurt?
From the head, he kicked right in the head. Yeah, it's a hard kick. So yeah, it's all from the head kick. Yeah, he was limping pretty bad. Yeah, I'm assuming tomorrow's he's gonna have a little bit more of a limp, because right after the fight he was limping pretty good, and then when we got on the bus he was limping pretty good. So yeah, no, the head kick hit him really hard.
So after victory like that, is it safe to say that Islam is no longer in Khabib's shadow and he's the most well-rounded fighter in the UFC right now?
Well, for me, Islam was never in Khabib's shadow, but I guess for people they were thinking, now he's not. Because he never was. He's always been Islam. He's his own fighter. Khabib is his own fighter. Umar is his own fighter. None of these guys are in Khabib's shadow, I feel. But I can see how people, because he's the more famous. But I think from that point of view, I think maybe you're correct. Maybe now he distanced himself as a different breed, and 100% you can say he's the best lightweight at the present time, and he's on a journey to being a superstar in the lightweight division and a superstar in the MMA world, and his legacy is being written.
So Islam said that Gaethje and Oliveria should fight for a right to fight him. Do you see who you see as a better and harder opponent for Islam in lightweight?
Well, we don't know what Gaethje holds. We know what Oliveira holds. Let's see what the UFC says. I don't know how it's going to play out. The UFC controls everything. All I know is whoever they offer, Islam's going to say yes. So it doesn't matter. So Islam may want those guys to fight it out, but if the UFC decides they're not going to do that, or maybe they offer Colby, maybe they offer the welterweight title, Islam's going to say yes because he wants to be a double champion. At some point, he's going to move up there.
Yeah, that's what he said, that the welterweight belt excites him way more. Do you see it as a logical next step?
I see it as a logical next step. It's just a matter of when the UFC will allow it to happen.
Well, Islam was also asked if he would consider to be a backup fighter for Leon versus Colby. What do you make of this idea?
For Islam to be a backup fighter, if I'm not the manager, but if he's asking me, I say that's not a good idea because you're training for something you don't know you're going to do. You're not in a need-to situation. You're the champion. I say no. My opinion is no.
So talking about the backup fighters, Mateusz Gamrot was a backup fighter for this fight. How do you rate him?
He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. We'll get to see if we meet him one day, but I rate, Gaethje and Oliveira ahead of him until he beats them.
So talking about lightweights, Khabib basically passed the torch to Islam in lightweight in the UFC, but you have another great lightweight in your team, the Bellator champion, Usman. Do you think at some point he might move to UFC? And wouldn't be like an amazing story of 3 generations of lightweight, passing the torch to each other?
We'll see what happens with the Bellator, whether they can keep him or not. But I've said it before. When I started training Usman, I told Khabib, I need you to help. I need your help with him because I don't have him mentally. And he goes, yes, coach. I know. We'll work on it. We worked on it. And 3 fights before he won the title, I said, Khabib, we got him. I knew we had him. And now he's on cruise control. And if you understand what cruise control means, I just tell him, he just does. He's an amazing talent. He is the most talented fighter I've ever trained in my whole entire life. He's a beautiful fighter, beautiful kid. He's becoming really well-rounded in the mental and everything. So he's becoming a more complete fighter than I've ever seen, to be honest with you. He's so freaking smooth. I've never seen anybody transition from the stand-up to the grappling to the stand-up like he does. It's unbelievable. It's a beauty to watch.
Well, so those people who don't really follow Bellator and other MMA organizations other than the UFC, do you think they're missing out on guys like Usman?
Oh yeah, if you don't know who Usman is, you're missing out on a great fighter.
So what is he like person-wise? Because he seems to be like a little bit different from like his older brother and Khabib and Islam. He's a little bit different, I think.
Yes, Umar is different than his brother Usman. Islam is different than Khabib. Khabib is different than all of them. They're all different. They all have a great personality in their own way. One is more this, one is more that. Like out of all of them, the nicest one out of all those guys is Umar. He's the sweetheart. He's the nice guy. But he's determined. He's focused. Islam is the quiet guy. He's very quiet. Habib is the more like the talker with the great taglines. You know, if King Kong can make 155, we fight him. That's Habib. He's a great with the words. You know, and Usman is more charismatic. He's more good with everything. He's so smart. He is so smart that you don't realize that he knows what's going on, but he does know what's going on. And one of the interviews at the Bellator thing, he's out there playing. He's playing his games while they're asking him questions. He's playing video games.
Oh.
Not video games. He's playing some kind of game, maybe a card game or something.
So have you been in touch tonight with Khabib, like on FaceTime or something? Well,
Yes. I text Khabib and I said, congrats, coach, you did a good one. He goes, no, not me, you guys. I go, no, Magomed was a big part of this one because it was his plan and his working 2 months out, and Sayfullah. But we all as a team come together. But, you know, we got to give credit where credit's due. Magomed was, to me, the rising star in this one. And Khabib coming in was the man that put it all together. And I'm more like the mentor that I have these guys through Khabib.
So Coach Magomed is not really doing any interviews, even though like sometimes journalists offer him to do an interview. He's not doing this. He prefers to stay in the shadow. Can you tell us a little bit more about this, Coach?
I'm not sure. Maybe he's just shy. You know, I pushed him out there. I said, no, this is the man, because they're trying to give me the credit. I go, no, it wasn't my game plan. That was his game plan. And he didn't really want to come out. I don't know. He should. He deserves it. You know, he's the reason why this game plan worked. He worked it. I didn't. All I worked on was the distance, and I gave him comfort that I've been with Islam longer than anybody else other than Khabib. So so from that, as far as his coach, but Muslim, his brother, you know, that's with him, not his brother, but his like best friend, but it's like brother. We all call each other brother. He's been with them on every fight, but other than that, coaching wise, you know, Khabib is the longest one than me.
So do you think Khabib is stepping out like purposely so Islam would be in the spotlight, not him, and Khabib would not, you know, attract all the attention because Islam is a great fighter, you know, he's a champion, he's defending his belt, and Khabib just doesn't want to be in his way.
I believe that the reason why Khabib stepped out is what he said. I want to devote time to my family. I don't have enough time to watch my kids grow. That's what he's doing. But when he has time, he's going to go and do his thing. He doesn't want to be obligated. And I know what that means because I'm here because I had to be here for Islam. Okay, I had to be here for Islam. Okay, so I had to come here. But if I'm in a situation where I have something to do with my family, I don't have to be here. I'll be on the phone talking. And that's what Khabib can do. So he needs that because he wants to be there for his family. I mean, you have to respect that. You have to respect that. When he wants to come back, he'll come back. He talked to me. He said, I want to devote time to my family, coach. And I said, good, okay. If you're going to have a reason for stepping out, that's the best reason. And he never said he was going to stop coaching. I always tell people, he never said he was going to stop coaching. He just said he's not going to go to the corners and he's not going to be at every fight. And he hasn't. He hasn't been Usman's last 3 fights or 4 fights. It's been me. He hasn't been there. But he's there in like on the phone and he's there coaching, but he's not there in person.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.